Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show. Home improvement and maintenance tips from the pros.
Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show Action Edition, where today we feature an item in the news. And I'm here with my old buddy Larry. Larry, what's been going on?
John, this morning I was in Lowe's and I noticed that lumber prices are coming down, and then you told me before this show about the article in the news. So take it away.
That is correct. Well, you know, one of the things I ran across, once again, so you folks don't have to read the boring, laborious read trade rags, which I'll do for you. I don't have anything else.
It's very generous of you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I expect payment for that. And I ran across something in Fortune, and it was entitled Wood, W-O-O-D. Would you look at that? Lumber is cheap again. And it says for the 13th consecutive week, framing lumber prices are down. Long story short, it reached a high in May, which is a tremendous high in this past May for the price of lumber, and it has just dropped precipitously right down to about the level of the January of 2018.
Oh, good. So we're back to normal then.
So we're just about back. Now, is it reflected exactly yet in the store? It's kind of like gas prices, right? Anything like this, the commodities and things, they'll rise like a, rocket and fall like a feather, the pricing, right? So take advantage of, those prices, but they are back. You just said it. I looked online and I saw 2x4x8 was down to like $328, I want to say, where I think we were paying what was the high, Larry?
$758.
Something. Yeah, I was like, man, I mean, what is this thing made out of oak? So this thing is, it's getting back down. Now, the reason that I bring this up, it's interesting that this is happening. The graph is incredible looking, as it just has fallen like crazy. And the interesting thing is that a while ago we said, from what our sources were saying that we listened to, is don't do any big remodeling because the price of lumber is extremely high. That's number one. Now, it doesn't address some of the appliance supply issues, supply chain issues, and some of those other things. But for lumber, it was adding, what was it, Larry? Around $24,000 to $30,000 for the average new house.
Something like that. Yeah, it was it was a lot. It was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. So, I mean, you can just do your own math. I mean, if a 2x4 went from, let's say, $3 to, $7, it's like, whoa, you can just extrapolate that.
Right.
But, I think, Larry, it's exciting. It's time to get back to doing, your projects that require this kind of lumber now, decking. Decking must have been incredibly expensive.
Oh, it was crazy for a while. You couldn't even get it. I mean, you couldn't get a 5/4 board, deck board at any. You couldn't even find one. I mean, that was like a year ago, I guess. You couldn't even find one. I was like, oh my God! It's like I was actually doing a different project and I put 2x6s on because I could not find. No, actually, I paid the same price for a 2x6 as I did for a 5/4 board. It was actually less. I was like, well, then I'll put 2x6s on. It's actually better. Normally you go the other way just on a cost basis. Nope, not a year ago it was about a year ago, and
I remember.
Crazy.
I remember. You couldn't find the 5/4 boards, and I had just I think it was before 2019? Maybe it was 2019 that I just replaced a bunch of boards on my deck.
Yep.
So then I went out and I had to get a couple of other 5/4 boards for another project, and this was just last year.
Right.
And I couldn't believe it. I said, wait a minute. I thought that I paid about $5 or $8. I can't remember what it was for this, a 10-foot 5/4 board. Okay.
It wasn't 16. That we know.
That's bingo. That's my point.
Yeah.
I looked at it. I was like, holy mackerel, this thing is like $15, $16. And, Trex, I mean, everything was hit. Everything was hit. So I was just thinking about all the people building decks. I mean, how much money.
Oh, yeah.
And now they spent twice as much for some of this stuff. So like our sources said, you've been warned.
You've been warned,
don't do these projects until the lumber prices come down. And
they're starting down.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're all a little pessimistic about things like, once it goes up, it never really comes back down. But it's back down again, and so everybody, it's a good thing.
And I can confirm it from my trip to the big box store this morning. It is coming down. Not quite where they were, but getting really close. Like it's not that sticker shock anymore. It's not like, oh my God, but it's more like I was actually looking at some 3/4 inch plywood, and its pricing is down to, I don't know, it's a couple of dollars higher than it was from what I remember, pre-COVID kind of stuff. Only a couple of bucks, which is kind of whatever. That doesn't bug me, but it's not double or triple like it was. For a while, it was triple, and I almost died. I'm like, how can you afford to do anything? And anyway, with that, that's the big good news, right?
Exactly. But now the interesting part of this is that they're saying here in this report, and I'll post this report on our Facebook group, is that they're resisting dropping their prices to lumber yards because they've got all the inventory at a high price.
Yeah, they've got back inventory that's at expensive pricing.
So they're going by actual costs of their inventory, and they're trying to get their money back out of it. But yikes,
Yikes.
That was, and that might be another reason why some of the big box stores stopped stocking so much of it, because they didn't want to get stuck with that.
Right.
So,
right.
Anyway,
with that, we want to thank you for listening to the Handyman Pros radio show. If you want to join our Facebook group, you can join it at Handyman Pros. You can send us an email, questions@handymanprosradioshow.com. Anything else, John? Are there other ways? Twitter, at Handyman Radio. Smoke signals, just a couple, 2-3 puffs. That'll do it. Does it for me. Webpage, handymanprosradioshow.com. We did update that, so we've got a great... Now all the episodes are really easy to look at. You just scroll down through everything. So, Johnny, we're coming up on almost 200 here pretty soon. That's going to be exciting. We've got a special show coming up. So, 200. Man, that's like almost your age, buddy.
Thanks, Larry. Appreciate that. Let me get back to my walker and cane.
And with that, folks, we will see you next week on the Handyman Pros Radio Show.